What's up everybody, this is Mastery and Gamer, and we just got our premiere look at the brand new upcoming map for Overwatch Season 3. The Tokyo map, which has been teased for more than a year now at this point, has finally officially been revealed, and we're gonna take a look at it right here today. So the footage and much of the information I'll be discussing pertaining to this new map was revealed during the Champions Clash esports event just moments ago, where Overwatch dev Dion Rogers introduced us to the map, and we even got to watch a match being played live on this new map. So let's go ahead and jump right on in, talking about the details. First of all being its name. It is not called Tokyo or Japan, it is called Neon Junction. A very fitting name considering the aesthetics of this map, with all the bright neon lights, the beautiful cityscape, truly a fantastic looking map. Additionally, Neon Junction is a hybrid map, the first hybrid map to release since Midtown back with the launch of Overwatch 2 itself, all the way back in 2022. So yes, a quite refreshing change of pace to get another hybrid map once again. Definitely one of the more favored modes, having maps such as King's Row, Eichenwald. I, for one, am very excited to get another hybrid map in the game, and this one looks like it is going to be, at the very least, a pretty map, and hopefully a very fun one on top of that. But beyond just the gameplay aspects of it, of course, you can't talk about a new map without delving into the story aspects of it. And this map in particular, Neon Junction, looks like it's going to be pretty dense when it comes to story. One of the major visual components of the map itself is a large tower, which constitutes the third and final point of the map, which is very noticeably branded with the Hashimoto tiger icon, and sounds to be densely packed with character references and story material that pertains to Hanzo, Genji, Kiriko, Mizuki, and likely the next upcoming hero. More on that in a minute. But let's just go ahead and have a fly-through of the map itself, covering the different points, and just giving a general breakdown of my thoughts as we go through it. So the map starts off first and foremost in a shopping district, where we get a bunch of flashy, colorful storefronts, and various interesting contents in those stores, such as plushies, including a Winton plushie, love to see that, before proceeding past a giant mecha statue and reaching the Payload. So the Payload for this map is an interesting one. It has a very Japanese-inspired design, and according to the developer's comments, the contents of this payload in particular, since, of course, every Overwatch payload has its own significance, the contents of this one pertains to the creation of anima weapons, those being the weapons most notably used by Hanzo and Genji to summon their dragons, and also tangentially Kiriko and Mizuki to some extent. And while we don't know the exact details of what's going on here with this particular payload, it is apparently tied to that, and from the different angles we got of the payload itself throughout the matches that were being played, it looks to be a sort of white, ethereal substance inside of it. Could this be alluding to an upcoming new anima to be crafted? Perhaps one tied specifically to the Hashimoto, whose icon is a white tiger. Just a thought. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But either way, after you capture the payload initially, you start to move it through the streets, and you get to what might be the most fun aspect of this map, or at least the most fun location, which is a sort of overpass, underpass, I guess depending on which way you go. But the overpass specifically was remarked as being a good sniper vantage point, given its high position immediately above the payload route, but it has the fun caveat of periodically a train goes through. And if you happen to be standing up there when the train goes through, well, I'm sure we've all taken a step onto the Oasis Highway at least once in our time. So we all know what's gonna happen if you hang around there too much and don't pay attention to when the lights change. I, for one, am very excited to see this because I love fun, chaotic elements to maps. I don't think Overwatch maps have enough chaos in them, frankly. So I'm very eager to have a new map with a environmental kill aspect that isn't just falling off the map, but instead is, well, the map actively killing you in its own way. Proceeding past the train area, though, we get to the first payload checkpoint, which is outside the large Hashimoto branded tower, at which point we then proceed into the tower itself to discover that it is in fact a Kabuki theater, which is a very cool reference to Japanese culture. To see it represented here feels very fitting for the Hashimoto clan specifically as well. We get a lot of cool story details. We see portraits portraits of omnic Kabuki actors on the walls, and there's even secret weapon panels that seem to open up as the payload progresses past them, before advancing into the theater itself, moving up to the stage, going through the stage, and proceeding into the back rooms, where we see a Hashimoto lair, as it was described, the basically Talon secret council area equivalent for the Hashimoto. A very cool looking room which serves as the defender's final spawn room that apparently has a number of interesting details for itself. Now, we didn't actually get to see it, unfortunately, during the footage provided or through the play matches, but apparently in this back area of the final spawn room, there's a room dedicated to the creation of the anima weapons, the Hanzo and Genji Dragon Blades, which we're just going to have to wait for the map to release in order to actually see for ourselves, it seems. I, for one, am quite excited to check that out and poke around, seeing what all it has in store, and frankly, just poking around the map in general. It's a very colorful, very interesting looking map, one which I'm very excited to jump into myself when it launches with Season 3. But having covered now the map in its entirety, gone through all the different major points and noted some of my favorite, most outstanding aspects of it, there was one thing which was evidently missing from all this showcase here during the Champions Clash event, which was the new hero. Now, to be fair, Blizzard never said overtly that we'd be seeing the new hero revealed this weekend, just that they'd be focusing on Season 3 content, and this is certainly Season 3 content, being the new map. But there were possibly some other little tidbits worth noting here, as the map itself may indeed have a teaser for said new hero, one which we can actually see just through the limited footage we've gotten so far. So during the final portion of the Neon Junction map, that final Hashimoto lair spawn room behind the Kabuki Theater, as we're flying past a large rock, we can see here at the bottom of the screen, laying on a bench, what looks to be a kunai, similar to Kiriko's, along with a handgun. A handgun that doesn't look to match any of the weapons used by existing Overwatch heroes. Now, maybe this is just a random prop lying around. I'm sure some random people in the Hashimoto faction use weapons like this. I'm pretty sure we even see one specifically being used by one of the goons in the Kiriko animated short. But I do have to wonder, given the rather strategic positioning of this weapon and the way the camera in this showcase conveniently just spotlights it by flying over it, is this perhaps a weapon used by the new upcoming hero? A hero who, even ignoring the leaks, we have strong reason to suspect is a Hashimoto member, and indeed wields pistols of some kind. Maybe. I suppose we'll have to wait and see, because at the moment we don't have any new details on said new hero. Unfortunately, they went unmentioned, unrevealed during the Champions Clash event, although we did get this confirmation that there is a new hero coming. This was just tacked on at the end of the opening for whatever reason, and gave many, myself included, the thoughts that we were going to actually be seeing this hero this weekend. But seems like that wasn't the case. They just wanted to say, hey, new hero coming. And again, I think the way they've shown here that there's a new hero coming on this splash screen definitely lends credence to the idea that said new hero is going to be tied to Japan and the Hashimoto. But having now covered the new map, let me know your thoughts on Neon Junction down in the comments below. Does this seem like a cool map, one you're excited to play and check out for yourself? Or maybe you're just a little disappointed we didn't get to see more of the new hero. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and as always, be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any future Overwatch 2 news, streams, and other content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.